Lethal equipment is a big part of Call of Duty's formula, but that doesn't make it any less annoying to get killed by these. What is up, everybody? Jimmy or Chaos. Welcome back to the COD History Series. Today, we're going to be taking an explosive look, no pun intended, at the 20 best lethals in Call of Duty. Now, for this list, we will be looking at anything and everything that has ever been classified as lethal equipment. So you let me know in the comments what you think the best lethal in COD history truly is. Drop a like, and guys, we're giving away a PS5 at 2.8 million subscribers. All the information is in the pinned comment below. Multiple ways to enter, completely free. Good luck. At number 20, we're going to go with what I think is one of the coolest names, the Thermo Grenade. In Black Ops 6, I actually wrote this thing off when Black Ops 6 first launched because I didn't really understand how to use it, but now that I've played around with it a bit, it's actually pretty underrated. The Thermo Grenade makes a really big fireball, can deal insane damage, but it takes a couple seconds to prime and then detonate. That gives enemy players some time to get out of the way, but if you throw it onto a hardpoint hill or a dome flag, you can actually get some pretty awesome multi-kills. I think it's a nice underrated way to kick off the list. At number 19, the TAR in Infinite Warfare, also known as the Thrown Adhesive Rocket. This piece of equipment was rocket propelled. You could toss it really far before it would blow up and rip through anybody that was standing too close. And since it could be thrown so far at such a quick speed, it was actually hard to avoid. And on the smaller maps, it was pretty powerful. A lot of people slept on the equipment in this game, but there's actually some good ones. We'll see some more coming up soon. At number 18, the Drill Charge in Modern Warfare 2 2022. Now, it's actually appeared a couple times in COD games over the last few years. Function, it's pretty simple. You throw it at a wall, the device burrows through the wall, then it spits out an explosive on the other side of the wall, and it's kind of slow, pretty obvious to enemy players, but it's pretty amazing for taking out campers, and you can actually get some pretty cheesy kills with it if you do it right, and you get a little bit lucky. At number 17, the Blast Trap. I like that name too in Black Ops 6. This may be one of the most annoying things ever put in Call of Duty. I mean, we're talking, remember the system hack in Advanced Warfare? That was annoying. This is too. I mean, Treyarch, they've nerfed it a couple times, but it's frustrating. The Blast Trap is a big device you throw down on the ground or you stick to a wall somewhere, and then once an enemy gets too close, it blows up after beeping a couple times. Now, if you're caught in the center of the radius, it's an insta-kill. If you hear that beeping going off, you better dive right away, or you're going to end up getting blasted across the map. Think Bouncing Betty, think IMS, but worse. And speaking of that, at number 16, the Bouncing Betty in Modern Warfare 3 2011. Now, the Bettys have been in a lot of COD games, but the Modern Warfare 3 version always had a special place in my heart, mainly because they were some of the hardest to actually see coming. They were super small. They blended in with the environments really easily unless you were running sitrep, and that little ping of the activation was actually pretty subtle and quiet. So you would often get blown up with it, you'd get blown up and you wouldn't even hear the warning first. It was annoying to get killed by, yes. It was also funny when you were the one racking up the Betty kills on the other side. At number 15. The Simtex in absolutely everything. I'm cheating. It was introduced in the original Modern Warfare 2. It returned in basically every game since then. Function has virtually never changed. It's been excellent in every single game. You throw it, it sticks to the first thing it touches, and then it blows up after a few seconds. If you stick somebody with a Simtex, it's a guaranteed kill. It's a great tool for denying lanes of the map or clearing objectives as well. So, you let me know. What was your favorite version of the Simtex in the comments? Because it's hard to pick one, but if I was put on the spot, I'm probably going to go with Black Ops 2. At number 14, the Claymore in Modern Warfare 2019. This is hands down easily the best Claymore in COD history. Don't argue. You can't argue this. The 2019 Claymore was one of the most obnoxious things in the entire franchise because it was small, it was fast, and it was lethal. I mean, with how easy it was to camp in this game because they promoted it, you could get a dozen Claymore kills in a single match without much of an issue. The explosion, it was way too big. The detonation, it was almost impossible to avoid. Super annoying, but definitely one of the best lethals in COD history. It was annoying because it was so good and so effective. I would be doing a disservice if I left it off the list. At number 13, this is a wild one, and I actually have a funny little story for you. The Black Hole Projector in Infinite Warfare. This thing was crazy. You couldn't throw it very far, but once it hit the ground, it would create this mini black hole that would pull enemy players in towards it, killing them if they made contact with the center of it. But even if the enemy managed to escape the kill, they would more or less be stuck in a place until the projector turned off. Made them easy pickings for your MV4. It was like something out of Titanfall 2 And a lot of people hated how crazy it was. I mean, you put it in tight corridors and it was crazy. You clicked on a list of you did click on a list of the best lethal equipment pieces in COD history, and it absolutely qualifies. And fun little story, we went and play tested Infinite Warfare. I think it was alpha or beta. And we got in there, we're playing, and then I equipped this thing and I threw it and we watched what it did. And I remember looking at some of my peers, I won't name names, and we looked at each other and like, is this really in a Call of Duty game? They really actually put this in there? How did this get through? And we were like, okay, this is going to be a crazy ride of a year. At number 12, the Molotov in Black Ops Cold War. Now, the Molotov is a staple of COD, but the Cold War version deserves a little bit of a shout because it just fit really well into the game. It was a good tool for locking down areas of the map. The Molotov created this massive pool of fire on the location where it landed, and something about the map design of Black Ops Cold War made it really good for forcing enemies into certain locations or weakening down a group of players who were crowding an objective point. I think this is one of the best fire-based lethals we've ever seen in Call of Duty history. At number 11, the frag grenade in COD 4. Now, the frag grenade may not be the most unique or crazy piece of lethal equipment, but the COD 4 version was just, it was something. If you played this game back in the day, you're shaking your head with me, yes. The frags in COD 4 had this huge blast radius. They were really hard to avoid because of the lack of any quick movement options or movement-based perks like lightweight. So if you saw that grenade indicator pop up on your screen, there was a really good chance you were just going to die in the next few seconds. And there was absolutely nothing you could do about it. And since there were perks like, yes, frag times 3 and martyrdom in the game, you were going to be dying to frags a lot. Now we arrive at the top 10. The S-Mine 44 in COD World War II. Now, the S-Mine was the 2017 version of the classic Bouncing Betty, but with a couple tweaks that made it really good. First of all, it was really small, virtually impossible to see before getting too close. Second of all, the blast radius was huge, meaning it would actually still hit you if you went prone before the explosion went off. And third of all, the one-hit kill radius was gigantic. You could easily get 2 to 3 people at once if you knew where to put it. A classic example of something that was super annoying to get killed by, but man, was it fun to use on your own class. At number 9, the Thermite in Modern Warfare 2019. It actually debuted in Black Ops 3, but it was reworked in Modern Warfare as a device we know and some people love today. New version of the Thermite can be thrown very quickly, very effectively, flying in a straight line until detonating or whatever it hit first and creating this quick burning fire that would deal hefty damage for a few seconds. So if you stuck someone with the Thermite, it was a guaranteed kill. If you threw it on the ground or a wall somewhere, it could completely lock that area down for a few seconds, which could often be the difference between life and death in objective game modes. It was like more of a mobile version of the classic Molotov cocktail, and it's definitely become a fan favorite over the last few years. At number 8, the Trip Mine in Infinite Warfare. There are a few things more annoying in a jetpack game than having all your momentum shut straight down by a random piece of tech you never saw coming. The trip mine can be stuck to any surface, would immediately blow up if you got within a certain radius. Now, unlike other mines in COD history, the IW trip mine had this big light at the top of it, which did make it easy to avoid if you saw it. But if you knew where to place them, you could make sure nobody ever got out of the way. A smart player would throw a trip mine down around a corner or next to a window and rack up easy kills over and over again. At number 7, the Satchel Charge in COD World War II. Now, this thing functions similarly to the C4 charge, and it was reworked a couple times by Sledgehammer because the game, when it came out, was actually kind of useless. But after a buff, or 2, it turned into one of the most insane things in the entire game. You could throw it pretty far, and then you could manually detonate it. You could rack up multiple kills on objective points from the other side of a wall. The Satchel Charge tossed into a choke point could be an insane moment, and a very valuable one for your score streaks. At number 6, another trip mine in Black Ops 3. Now remember, the Infinite Warfare trip mine we talked about. The Black Ops 3 version was basically just that, but without the light on top, which made it way harder to see. So many people would combo the trip mine with the infamous shock charge, and that would usually spell instant death for anybody who didn't see either of them coming. Trip mines on Nuketown were frustrating. I still don't know why Treyarch made them so powerful. I mean, I guess you could say that you could jetpack your way out of the blast radius if you saw it coming, but let's be honest. How often did you actually see it coming? You would just walk into a room, randomly blow up, and speaking of randomly blowing up, well, at number 5, we're going to talk about the IED in COD Ghosts. Most of the lethals in Ghosts were crappy, but the IED, it was the opposite. It was another level. This had to be one of the most toxic things ever put in a Call of Duty game. It was literally a C4 charge but with an auto detonation. Super small, almost impossible to see, could stick to any surface, it would automatically blow up if an enemy player got too close. You could put this on a ceiling of a door frame. The IED spam was ridiculous in COD Ghost, and frankly, there was no reason not to run it. The other lethals were just average. The IED, it was an almost guaranteed kill if you knew where to put it. At number 4, the combat axe and throwing knife in absolutely everything. Now, these debuted in the original Modern Warfare 2. They're a staple of the franchise. Quick, tiny, throwable, that instantly kills whoever it touches and can be picked right back up again and put right back in your pocket. It was simple, it was awesome, it was effective, and it was iconic. Absolutely had to be in the top 5. This next pick may be a hot take, may be a bit controversial for that very reason, but here we go. At number 3, the Biospike in Infinite Warfare. Now, the Infinite Warfare version of the throwing knife had a special bonus trait that no other version had. It exploded. The Biospike functioned just like the classic throwing knife, but when it made contact with the enemy player, they would instantly explode into this giant fireball that would kill anyone standing near them in the blast radius, which was honestly one of the most satisfying things to do in COD history. You may have hated Infinite Warfare, but you have to admit it. An explosive throwing knife, that's pretty cool as an idea, and if you ever landed a multi-kill with it, you probably will agree with me on the placement at number 3. If you were on the receiving end of it, you're probably upset with me. At number 2, the C4 in Modern Warfare 3 2011. Now, the C4 charge has been around since COD 4, but the 2011 version reworked it into this monster that we remember. Instead of having to wait a couple seconds before detonating, the Modern Warfare 3 version could be detonated almost immediately after it left your hand, which made it great for landing the cheesiest kills ever. If you saw someone on the other side of a piece of cover, or if you were suspicious of enemies sitting inside a room, just toss a C4 their way, blow them up before they could even possibly react. But, believe it or not, I think there's one other COD lethal that was even better, and I think this pick at number 1 today is going to be pretty universal in the comments. We'll see. At number 1, the C4 in Black Ops 2. I mean, it was insane. Basically just the Modern Warfare 3 version, but with an even bigger one-hit kill range and even better mobility when you used it. There was also just something about the map design and the mechanics of Black Ops 2 that made this C4 charge even more powerful. It was super easy to get enemy players in a choke point, so you could just toss a little C4 sandwich at their feet and send them back to the lobby all at once. I mean, after that, you would prime another one and do it all over again. Groundhog's Day all day. The Black Ops 2 C4 charge is absolutely, to me, the best lethal equipment in COD history. I don't think there's going to be a lot of debate about this one. I really don't. If you used it back in the day, you already know. And if you disagree with it, that's probably because you never got a chance to play Black Ops 2. And there you have it, my friends. Let me know one lethal that should have made the list, but didn't. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to get in on that PS5 giveaway, and I'll see you soon.